Okay, so this is Lab 2 Part 3, picking up where we left off from. So this is where you would put all your identifier goes here. Declaration of all your declarations here. First one, I want you to make some contents here. So we start with the word final, that's equivalent to declare as final, the data type, and we always uppercase all of our constants. Just use the number 2. And we're going to use this one. We'll count number of scores. And then we do another one that's final, int score 1 equal to, let's say, 100. This is your first test score. Next one is final, int score uppercase 2. Notice how I name my identifiers. They're all constants. They need to be uppercase with it. It'll work as a lowercase, but it's a bad practice. And this is what we do in industry. There is no written instruction to uppercase or not. So this is your second test score. Next one I would like for you to use is some constants for the final. In this case, it's boiling underscore in underscore Fahrenheit equals to 212, and this is what I'm going to call as the freezing temperature. Okay. Next, I need for you to do an int data type from Fahrenheit to Celsius. Exactly what I have. This is the temperature in Celsius. Next, I'd like for you to give me a data type of a double, that's average. So this will be the arithmetic to average. Next, I'd like for you to give me a string, uppercase S in Java, not lowercase like in C++. It needs to be uppercase S, and output. And we're going to use, this is the line of output to print out. Now, in that same statement, I need for you to, this is task, let me uppercase all the tasks so you know task number 2. This is all task number 2 here, okay? Bear with me for a moment. Copy and paste all these tasks. It needs to be all uppercase for me, okay? So it stands out a little bit more. Sorry. So task number 2 is I want you to declare the variables used here. And we have some variables. Task number 2, some variables. Task number 3, and another one is task number 4. Let me move this up here. So I'm just going to do task number 4 in here so you know what I'm talking about. Now, here's how you take a look at the arithmetic in this thing. So after you do that, we're going to actually find an arithmetic average. So a few formulas that I'm going to kind of walk you through this formula with it. We know again, this is where you have to come in and find the logical error. Okay, so I told you the score 1 plus score 2 divided by number, which is the identifier on the top. All of that needs to equal to average. Java is case sensitive, so you need to make sure you do it right. The second one is what you're going to do is you're going to assign to output, okay, of score 1, concatenate that with space and concatenate that with score 2, concatenate that with another string, have an average of, and concatenate that with the variable average. And all of this needs to equal to output string with it. Okay? Now, this is assigned to output. Okay? Note. Okay? So I'm going to output this output by doing it here, by doing system.out.print line will take the cursor to the next line. Print only without this will keep the cursor in the same line. So I'm going to move the cursor down to the next line. We're going to talk more about it. There's also printf and all that stuff, but I'm going to pass across the variable output. So this output that you're looking at is where this output allows you to go in, and you need to actually come in to this output right here, and you need to actually do something up here in one of the tasks up here. You need to declare it. You can declare this thing, okay? And you're going to pass, so one of these 2, 3, 4 up here that you need to declare, that is this task right here, and that becomes a parameter in this system out print line that you're about to do with it. So system out print line ends with a semicolon with this thing. So make sure all of your statement ends with a semicolon in here. Okay? Now, coming down here with it, you need to convert. Okay? From Fahrenheit temperature to Celsius. So, one of the variables that you declare up here is the Fahrenheit to Celsius. So, again, I'm going to write this thing from top down so you can actually see what actually takes place with it. Alright, so I'm going to come over here, I'm going to look at it, I'm going to have you, it's the formula that you should be in your packet that I gave you. Here's the formula from Fahrenheit to Celsius. Alright, you take a look at this formula, alright, if there's anything wrong with this formula with it. But the formula that that I'm gonna write here, alright, is 5 divided by 9. Multiply that with the boiling point this is what you gave as a constant up there. Subtract that from 32. All of that, okay, all of this is assigned to equal to this variable right here, temperature in Celsius. Okay? So if you look at temperature in Celsius, this is the boiling point, which is the constant 212 that fits in here, and subtract that to 32. You multiply this to 5 divided by 9, and you should get your Celsius, is my point. Okay, so this is the temperature in Celsius, Fahrenheit to Celsius. This is in Celsius with it. Okay, so you have that. Now, you need to get some of this information out to the screen to it as well, right? Again, what do? We assign things to an output here. So I'd like for you to take a look at this statement I'm going to write from the right side is the boiling, this constant right here. I want to just copy this constant right here. Saves me some typo. And we're going to actually concatenate that with a string called in Fahrenheit is, okay, and you're going to actually put that variable to Celsius, concatenate that with in Celsius. The string. This is all a string, so it doesn't really matter. Make sure you end with a semicolon. All this is assigned to variable called output. Okay. Now somewhere in the top here, you got to declare that variable up here before you use it. That output. Okay. Again, I want to pass in the output to get it to come out again. So why don't I tighten the code a little bit so you can see it better with this thing. So if I done that part, you can see. If I just want to put in a blank line, okay, put in a blank line right now for me so it separates out what we're talking about. System.out.print line method. So this will give you a blank line between with it. Now, here's what you need to do for task number 2. I'm going to go back to your task number 2 in this thing. So this is what we got to work with. Is this? This is what we got to work with. It says add an import statement above your class declaration to make this. This is number 1, task item number 1. Okay. So I'm going to put this up here on the side up here so you can see this is task. That's what we're talking about right here. If you really want to detail task number 1, put item 1. Okay, is that what I call it? I forgot what I call it. So that's number 1. Okay, so that's what number 1 is this line here. Add an import statement. That's what I kind of gave you that, right? Next one says in the main method, create a scanner object and connect the system.in object with this thing. So this is task number 2, right? Item number 2. Okay, so if you want to document that, you need to fill the rest of this for me. Number 3, prompt the user to enter his first or her first last name. So this is where you need to come in this thing. So here you're gonna add, I want uppercase, add lines for task number 2 here. And you need to prompt the user, for first name. You need to actually read the user's first name. How do you read that in? Prompt the user's for last name. You need to next read the user's last name, and then you have to concatenate, meaning that plus sign that I was telling you about. Concatenate the user's first and last name, and then you need to print out the user's full name. So, and then give it a blank line. Let me just document this. Blank line to leave blank line. So here's what I want you to do. Is take a look at this right here. Alright. So okay, so put it in as a blank line with this thing. Coming down here, so a lot of the stuff that you're going to see that I have, let me check the time.